Hello and welcome to another episode of the Landscaper Growth Show. My name is Mark Lambert. I'm your host. Today I'm speaking with Lawrence Hoye at Hoye Creek Lawn and Landscaping in Ferguson, Missouri. Lawrence, thanks so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we've been talking here before the show, done a ton of research ourselves here on Hoye Creek. Would love to start just by hearing what services you provide for your customers.
Yes, sir. So we're a full service landscaping business. We do a little bit of mowing, real big, especially really big on the landscaping side of things. Mowing, landscaping, all the anything house outdoor related. We even wash windows in our company. So yeah, everything, the whole 9 yards, pressure washing, retaining walls, everything. Yes, sir.
Got it. Fantastic. Great. How long you been at this?
Yeah, so I've been in business for about 5 years now. This is my fifth year in business. So I actually started my business when I was 13 years old, summertime of 2021, 13, and I'm 18 now. So
I love it. Fantastic. And how's it been all going here? You've been at this for 5 years. I mean, it's been growing really nicely, and we talked to you actually, and I'd love to unpack this as well. Looking at now expanding nationwide and looking to open your second location. So I assume things are just going great, huh?
oh yes, sir, for sure, for sure. It's always, how business is. We have highs, we have lows, but one thing I can say is, just me being ambitious as I am and hardworking as I am, I could say that things have been going, pretty well. Can't complain.
Amazing. How many folks do you have on your team right now?
So right now we have 5 full-time employees in our St. Louis location.
Okay, great. And then regarding kind of growth, how have you kind of been planning that? I mean, are you planning to open, one new location a year, or have any ideas on kind of the growth kind of cadence of growth here into new locations?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So for the most part, like I said, what drawn me to going to my second location, which is Atlanta, Georgia, is I go every year. And I go every year, and when I was younger, I used to just visit family, but the past 3, 4 trips have been more intentional because, I'm this young kid and I'm like, I love the city. I would like to expand my business here. Only that it's just like, I just love how things are. And yeah, so pretty much Atlanta, Georgia will be my second location of business. I'm actually working hard to get that, up and running. I said I just got back from Atlanta last weekend, and we'll probably see in the future, what I'm saying, what other, areas around the country will be, ideal for me, stuff like that. Yeah, if Atlanta gets to where I want it to be, next step might be Florida. But yeah, we'll get there for sure. But that's what we're looking at, going forward.
Love it. And then, so you're doing a lot of kind of lawn care maintenance. What percentage is kind of that kind of maintenance kind of branch of service versus some of the project work with, landscaping?
For sure, for sure. I would probably say 25, 75.
Okay.
But
75 landscaping projects. Okay.
25%.
Great. And do you have a sense of what you'd like to do in terms of growing the business? Would it be more in the landscaping projects, kind of traditional larger landscaping projects, or would it be also kind of a pretty good mix of the maintenance work as well?
I would probably say typically for my business model, I would probably say a mix of both. Just because like mowing, it's recurring revenue. A lot of people just exit out completely just because, it doesn't make sense. But as I can admit, as I grow more, it will start lesser to, make sense because our profit margins will be higher in landscaping work. But, when you're across city, the recurring revenue is, it's good cash flow. So, they say if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So we're just going to, stick with it for right now.
Love it. And then any kind of hardscaping at all?
Yes, sir, for sure. It's actually crazy you say that. We just installed about 2 weeks ago. We just installed a nice patio for one of our clients as well. And we have a subcontractor putting a hot tub on top of it. So yeah.
Love it. Great. And then, I mean, would that be something you'd be doing in the future as well, is to do some of those, to, add that into the mix, like in Atlanta, as more kind of hardscaping projects, whether it be working with stone or building any kind of like outdoor structures as well?
Yes, sir, for sure, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Great. Well, I'm curious, Lawrence, like if folks are looking to start a business like this and, they're just kind of getting their feet wet, just learning how it works, what are some of the things to look out for early on with the lawn care and or landscaping business? Maybe some pitfalls that folks may fall into that, you know, maybe have some advice they may be able to avoid that.
For sure. Well, when you're first starting out, you're just trying to get any customer you can. You're just trying to go find the next job, and you just gotta do what you have to do for right now. But what I want to say is, once you start out, of course, you're gonna have to. You start out as any other hustler. You're out there hustling every day. You're knocking doors. You're trying to find customers. That all just depends on how hard you work. If your customer base depends on how hard you work in the beginning. But what I want to say is that transition. A lot of people don't know how to transition that. You know what I mean? And that's why guys, kind of stay stuck, even, beyond ages, like, beyond age like mine, because they never figured out how to transition. They never figured out how to transition from being, just another lawn care guy to actually building a business. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Uh, so that's what I would probably say is if you can like go into, I know it's kind of hard because you're just trying to make money at first. We all are. But when you go into it and you get your customer base, I would just say market yourself as a business, not as this is me and I'm doing this, because people seem to support younger people or even older people when you say that it's a business, because it gives them a sense of, okay, this is an actual company, they're coming to do what they're supposed to do, rather than if you're just another, they say chuck in the truck, and you just out there doing what you're doing. No one's going to really, I wouldn't say that, you'll get customers, people will take it serious, but all I would say is my advice, and I could put it, dumb it down, is just figure out how to transition from being a hustler to a actual business owner, wanting more for yourself. And another big thing as well, I would say, is not every customer is a good customer. You got some customers who they'll keep you small because they'll like you to, kind of fit their budget. And I would say once you branch out of that, that's what takes it off. I don't want to take a lot of time on this topic, but I started my business in Ferguson. I was in Ferguson. I was living with my mother in Ferguson, and I had two trucks before I had a driver's license. My mom would drive me around and stuff like that. But I branched out at like 14, 15. I branched out to Maryland Heights, meaning like I start going out there more. Like even if not, I didn't have a driver's license, I was taking, Ubers out there, like into the nicer parts of town. And I, higher up income is what I would say. And eventually I built a good customer base out there to where now when I got my driver's license and everything, I was able to move and have my own shop in that area of town. And that's the biggest thing, is just being able to go into higher income neighborhoods, because they'll take you off. So yeah.
Love it. Amazing. Well, fantastic, Lawrence. If folks are in the Ferguson area there and or soon to be Atlanta and looking for a great landscaping lawn company to work with, what are some of the best ways to get in touch with you guys?
For sure. So, my phone number is all over my trucks, 314-897-1214. My phone number, my direct line. Or you can go to my nice website. It is hoyecreek.com. You can just simply just book an appointment on your phone for a free estimate. We'll get right back to you. And, please follow us on, our Instagrams, and typically older people, they like the Facebook, but follow us on our Instagram socials, just Hoye Creek. We do a lot of video content, things like that. We're real big. We're real big into like giving people an inside look at like how am I, just being so young, actually doing this. I'm really big on that. And I know people like to follow my journey and things like that. So Hoye Creek on everything. So yeah.
Love it. Fantastic. Great, Lawrence. Well, thank you so much for being here on the show today and sharing all your experience. I know you're going to have an amazing career and amazing business here moving ahead.
I'm trying.
Fantastic. Okay, my man. Well, good luck to you here on your business journey, and thanks again.